Welcome back to Rooted in the Word. In episode 1, we solved the biggest beginner problem. Where do I start? You learned the root method. Read, observe, own it, talk to God. Now today we're tackling the next problem that makes people quit. You open the Bible, you read a verse, and you think, what does this even mean? Then you start guessing. Or you Google 10 opinions, or you get overwhelmed and stop. Here's the real issue. Confusion makes people inconsistent. And it's not because the Bible is pointless. It's because many people read the Bible like random quotes instead of a real message written to real people. So today's goal is simple. By the end of this episode, you will know how to understand what you read without getting confused. One clear problem. One clear solution. The problem, you're reading verses out of context, so the meaning feels unclear. The solution, do a 60-second context check before you do root. That's it. Context check first, root second. Because when context is clear, Bible study stops feeling like guessing and starts feeling like hearing. So let's get practical. Here's the 60-second context check. It's 5 quick questions. You can do it in 1 minute, even as a beginner. Question 1, who is speaking? Question 2, who are they speaking to? Question 3, what is happening right now? Question 4, what comes before and after this verse? Question 5, what is the main point in one sentence? That's the whole method. Now let's slow down and walk through each one with a real example. We're going to use a verse many people quote. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you." People use that verse when they want hope for the future. And yes, God does give hope, but if you don't know the context, you can misuse the promise and confuse yourself when life gets hard. So let's run the context check. Question 1, who is speaking? In Jeremiah 29, God is speaking through the prophet Jeremiah. Question 2, who is he speaking to? He's speaking to the Israelites who were in exile in Babylon. They were far from home. They were stressed. They were tired. Question 3, what is happening right now? They were living in a hard season they didn't choose. They wanted quick escape. God was teaching them how to live faithfully while waiting. Question 4, what comes before and after? Right around that verse, God tells them to build houses, plant gardens, raise families, and seek the peace of the city they're living in. He's basically saying, you're going to be here for a while, so don't waste this season. Question 5, what's the main point in one sentence? God is saying, even in exile, I haven't abandoned you. Stay faithful, and I will restore you in my timing. Now watch what just happened. The verse didn't get weaker. It got stronger, because now you don't read it like a lottery ticket promise. Everything will be easy tomorrow. You read it like real hope. Even if this season is hard, God is still working and he hasn't forgotten me. That's what context does. It turns confusion into clarity. Now here's the best part. Once you do the context check, you can go straight into root and the verse becomes personal without becoming fake. So let's do root quickly using the same verse. Read Jeremiah 29:11. Observe, God has plans, hope, and a future for his people. Own it. Today I will stay faithful in my season, not panic. Talk to God. Lord, help me trust your timing and not rush you. See how stable that feels? No pressure, no confusion, just truth you can live. Now let me show you the second way confusion happens. Sometimes people read a verse and they don't realize the Bible has different types of writing. Poetry sounds different from a letter. A story reads different from instructions. A proverb reads different from a promise. So here's one simple rule that will protect you. Don't read poetry like a rule book. And don't read proverbs like a contract. For example, Psalms is full of poetry. David says things like, "My tears have been my food." That doesn't mean he literally ate tears. It means he was grieving deeply. Proverbs gives wisdom. General truth, not a guarantee that life will always work the same way every single time. So when you read a verse, just ask one quick question. What type of writing is this? Here are the simple categories you'll meet the most. Gospels, Jesus' life and teachings. Letters, coaching for the church, like Romans, Ephesians, Philippians. Psalms, prayers and emotions. Proverbs, wisdom for daily choices. Stories, real events showing God's work. Genesis, Exodus, Acts. You don't need to memorize everything. You just need to notice what you're reading. Now let's put this into a clean, practical workflow that you can repeat. Every time you open the Bible, do this. Step 1, do the 60-second context check. Step 2, do root. That's the entire system. And to make sure you actually remember it, I'm going to give you one sentence to keep in your head. Context tells you what it meant. Root helps you live what it means. Now let's practice with one more passage, something many people read when they feel anxious. Philippians 4 verse 6-7 says, "Do not be anxious about anything." Context check. Who is speaking? Paul. Who is he speaking to? The church in Philippi, believers learning how to stand firm. What is happening? Paul is writing from prison, yet he's teaching peace. What comes before and after? He talks about joy, gentleness, right thinking, and practicing what you've learned. Main point? God's peace is available when you bring your needs to Him in prayer and trust. Now root. Read Philippians 4, 6, 7. Observe, God doesn't shame me for feeling anxious. He invites me to pray. Peace is a gift that guards my heart and mind. Own it. Today, when anxiety rises, I will pray first before I spiral. Talk to God. Lord, I give you what I'm carrying. Guard my mind with your peace. That's not confusing. That's usable. Now let me address a fear some people have. They say, what if I get it wrong? Listen, humility is your protection. You're not trying to invent your own meaning. You're trying to understand God's message faithfully. So here are 3 guardrails that keep you safe. Guardrail 1. Never build a big belief from one random verse alone. If it's important, it will show up clearly in more than one place. Guardrail 2. Let clear verses explain unclear verses. If a verse is hard, don't force it. Keep reading and come back later. Guardrail 3. Always look for the main point, not a secret code. The Bible is not a puzzle meant to frustrate you. It's a light meant to guide you. Now, practical moment, because I want you to leave this episode with a real win. Grab a notebook or your phone notes and write this. Context check, who, what, around main point. Then write your one-sentence summary like this. God is saying, or that sentence will change your Bible study. Because instead of collecting random facts, you start collecting clear messages you can apply. Now here's your assignment for the next 3 days. Keep it simple. Day 1, read Philippians 4, 6-7. Day 2, read Psalm 23, 1-3. Day 3, read Matthew 6, 33. For each day, do 2 things. First, run the context check and write one sentence. God is saying needed. Second, do root and write one action step. Today I will. Then come to the comments and share only one line. What is the main point God showed you? One line. No long stories needed. And here's the desired state for you after today. You don't feel lost in the Bible. You have a repeatable way to understand what you read. You can study with confidence, not confusion, and you can take one clear next step. That's what being rooted looks like. In the next episode, we'll go even more practical. How to stay consistent when you're tired, busy, and distracted without guilt. But for now, do the context check. Then do root. Clarity first, growth next. See you in episode 3.